so I'm long overdue for this workout. Today we are using one of my favorite props, the Coregeous Ball, my yoga tune-up. This is not a sponsored workout whatsoever, it's just one of my favorite props. I talked over on Instagram how I like to do it, like to use it for some abdominal release, which I highly recommend if you have had any sort of abdominal surgery. And I also like it deflated to sit on, to really kind of mobilize my hips and pelvis and wake up my core. But today we are going to get into more of a full body workout and how you can use this prop to really sort of help you engage muscles that we like to engage. So without further ado, let's take it down to the mat to start today. And we're going to get on our bellies. You're going to have the ball out in front of you, okay? And you're just going to have your hands kind of at 10 and 2 on the ball. Now take a deep breath here, put your head down and relax. Exhale. On your next inhale, you're going to push into the ball, float the elbows up, pull the shoulder blades down the back as you start to peel the ribs off the floor. Now be mindful that where the work is coming from is not the low back, it's more around the bra line. Now, I feel somewhat confident that most of the people doing this video have worn a bra before or remember what that feeling is. If you have not, then think of the lower rib cage and really focus on peeling the ribs up versus just hinging through our low back. Inhale, exhale, and then same thing on that inhale, push up. The more you push into the ball and pull the shoulder blades down, the more that motion will happen sort of in the upper mid back. Inhale to pause there, exhale to come back down. And let's do another inhale to come up. Push, 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 push into that ball. You can even slide it forward a little bit. That can help elongate through that mid back. Inhale and exhale, come down. Let's do one more, arms fully extended out in front. Inhale, come up, push into that ball, push, 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 yes. Feels good, and then exhale, come down, and then flip it right to your feet, just between your ankles, okay? So in this position here, what you're going to do is just give a nice little squeeze on the ball, even with the ball resting on the ground and your feet resting on the ball, your feet resting on the ground, you should feel your glutes start to come alive. Now, I want you to think, I'm lifting my upper body up so you can hear my voice. You can relax your upper body down, but I want you to think as if someone's pulling your legs as you start to hover them off the ground. So think of someone yanking you lengthways, like they're trying to make you taller, as you hover those legs off the ground. Again, we want to feel this more in our booty, not in our back. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, lift. 3, 2, 1, hold that hover and then down. Inhale, exhale, hover that ball up and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale. And then exhale, lift and hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and then bring it back down. And we're gonna hop ourselves up into 4-point. Good, and you're going to tuck that ball in behind one of your knees, okay? So between knee and back of your thigh or your hamstrings. You're going to make sure your rib cage is lifted up in your shoulders, so don't sink down towards the mat. Lift up, keep a nice neutral curve to your low back, so we're not rounded here. Nice and neutral. Slight little bend in the elbows, wrists underneath shoulders. Take a deep breath in and you're going to push on that ball as you lift that leg up. My foot is flexed, like I could put a cup of coffee on the bottom of my foot and it's gonna stay there. Now note when you lift that leg up, there should be no collapsing through your low back. So same thing, I want a cup of coffee here, a cup of coffee on the bottom of my foot as I get up here. Now the common mistake with this looks kind of like this. Like we hinge through our low back to lift that leg up. No movement below the hip. Okay, and as you squeeze that ball in, those hamstrings hamstrings are working hard. Glutes are working to lift that leg. This is a bit of a humbling exercise. It does not look like too much, but when you squeeze that ball, really good exercise for the hamstrings. And the hamstrings and the core are very intimately related. They tend to be two areas that are a bit underutilized for many of us. Good, lift, keep breathing, inhale to come down. Exhale, come up now, just little pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, nice and straight through the body, 3, 2, 1. Good, bring that down and then switch to the opposite leg. Obviously, same rules go here. So squeeze that ball. Really get your hand placement and shoulder placement. Don't sort of miss the upper body connection here. And then lift that leg up. Be mindful again, nothing is moving through that midsection. Only the leg is lifting. And this is where the core has to work to stop you from letting the back jump into the picture. Good. One leg will usually always feel easier to do than the other. Keep squeezing that ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, we're going to hold it at the top here, a little pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, if you want to do a second set, what I would challenge you to do is do the same thing with the opposite arm lifted, okay? And then you can keep the arm lifted, keep the leg lifted, and you can squeeze the ball, little pulses here. Really, really good one. I want to move on just so you guys get a flavor of different positions, but that's a really good way to pause the video and up the ante a little bit. Now flip back over onto your back. Let's keep working the back side of the legs. And you're going to bring the ball between the knees. Feet or heels are nice and close to your bum, okay? So if you've done these videos of mine before, you know I'm no stranger to doing a bridge. This time we're going to do it with the feet a little wider than hip width and the ball between the knees. Okay, take a deep breath in on an exhale. You're going to squeeze the ball, and I want you to feel the relationship between the inner thighs and the core. So as I squeeze that ball, I should be feeling my core tighten, okay? And then lift your hips up here. Good. Hold the squeeze on the ball till you come back down and then let that tension out. So lead with that tension. As you squeeze the ball, feel your pelvic floor lift. Core gets taut. I can still talk, I can still breathe. I'm not bearing down, I'm not increasing tension. It just happens naturally. There's no cue of like, engage your core. It should be doing it for you. It's smart, your core. Okay? We don't need to engage it. It will engage itself. We just gotta give it the right environment to do so. Good. Keep lifting, come down, and relax. Squeeze that ball, feel the core work for you. Lift up. Good. Now little pulses here. Keep that nice squeeze on the ball. Lift up and down at the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the lift here, and now squeeze that ball. So I'm pushing in, and then I'm never fully coming off the tension. I'm just squeezing. So I guess it looks like this. If you could see from above my legs. 8, nice and smooth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that there, then come back down. Place it under one of your feet. Okay. And then we're going to go up into a bridge with it under one foot. If you want to get fancy here, lift the opposite leg up. If that feels too challenging, keep it down, but keep very little weight in it. Just keep it there for balance. If you're able, lift that leg right up. We're going to hold here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down, switch sides, over on the other foot. Same thing here. Push down into it, lift up. Bring that other leg up if you can. And then we're gonna hold here. You should feel kind of shaky. 5, 4, if you want to challenge yourself even more, hands up. 5, 4, woo, 3, 2, 1. Really, really good work. Proprioception through the foot, hamstring work, core work. My goodness, it's brilliant. Okay, flip onto your side here. I'm not going to go through this whole iteration because I want to keep going with our exercises, but I will say as a little break here, you can put that ball underneath the side of your chest, under your rib cage or the side of your rib cage, and then just do some deep breaths into the ball. So it cues that sort of lateral expansion of our ribs. It's also a really nice stretch for the lats. So if you need a little break, then that's a nice one there. But onward we go with the muscle work. So put the ball just sort of between the calves. Let your feet point. You want your hips stacked. So if there is a pull going through one hip, it should hit the other. So we're not forward or back. This hand can be on the ground in front, but just a fingertip touch. We're not using it for support. Take a deep breath in, and then you're going to squeeze that ball as you lift those legs up. Keep squeezing on the ball. Good. And then do little pulses. You can see I'm increasing pressure, decrease. Trying to do it with control so it's not too jaggedy. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold that there. Hold that squeeze. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'd encourage you to pause here. Do another set on that side of the same thing. I'm going to take it to the other side because you do not need to hear me cue you through set number 2. Same thing goes on the other side. So hips are stacked, ball between the calves, lift up here. You can prop yourself up like this. This is mainly so you can hear me speak, or just let that head be down. And then here we go, we lift up. We keep a squeeze here. 8, you should feel your obliques working. 7, 6, inner thigh. 5, 4, 3, glutes. 2, 1, and then squeeze, let go. Squeeze, come off. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and as you squeeze there, same thing, you should feel tension through your core without even really having to think about it. Now, place that ball, you're gonna sit up and you're gonna stick it right where your tailbone is. So, where your pelvis and your low back meet. So basically wedge it between you and the ground. I'm gonna angle myself slightly so you're looking a little bit more at the back now. That's not helpful. Looking at me directly from the side. In this position here, just heels on the ground. Back is nice and straight. And then what we're going to do is just keeping our back straight, hinge ourselves backwards onto that ball. And you're gonna feel, you get to a spot where you really feel abdominals working for you. Make sure it's not in a way where the belly bulges. So we're not pushing air down into the abdomen to increase pressure. If anything, the opposite. You want to feel like the belly button's coming up and in, okay? Get to that point, might feel a little shaky, and then if you're able to, lift one leg up, and then the other. You can march the legs here, okay? Or you can lift one leg, keeping back straight, lift the second leg. This is a lot, so if it's too much, go back to marching. Really getting comfortable in this position. Now, the reason I like the stability ball for this is it makes this sort of exercise a lot more accessible to people. So when we take the ball away, it's a lot more work that tends to happen on the back. This gives it a little bit of support while still being able to work your core. I find it gets the hip flexors a little less angry at us. Good, and then if you can, try again, float both legs out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring that down. And then let's take it up into standing. I want to make sure I gotta think about this, that I'm not leaving anything out. I'm gonna just tilt the screen slightly. Don't mind my hands. Okay, So now in standing, what I want you to do is you're gonna put the ball just above the knees. Feet are facing forward. I'm like in a white glow here. Let's see if we can fix that. Guys, don't mind me. You know this isn't my forte, and I'm not even gonna bother to edit this because who's got time for that? Okay, you don't need to see my face, you can hear my voice. So this is above the knees. I'm gonna show you from the side. You're gonna have a hinge at your hips, slight bend at the knee, arms are out in front. Squeeze that ball as you sit back like you're about to sit in a chair, okay? So from the front, I'm squeezing in on that ball. I sit back like I'm sitting in a chair. My weight is mostly on my heels. And here I'm gonna squeeze the ball and release. Now, think of the squeeze happening like gradual. So it's not squeeze, release, squeeze, release. It's like turning up the dial on a radio, okay? It's a slow turn for those who still have to turn a dial. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore. 7, lots of work here from the side. Here's my position. 6, 5, keep squeezing. It's hard. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come up into standing. You're going to tuck that ball in behind your knee, like this, okay? And what you're going to do here is kind of similar to what we did in 4-point. You're going to be standing on one leg. We're going to hinge forward slightly. There's a slight bend on this knee. Okay, my foot is flexed here. I'm squeezing that ball in, keeping my hips square to the floor, keeping my weight centered in my standing foot, and I'm lifting that ball up. 8, keep squeezing it as you lift. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it back if you can, keep your balance, little squeezes, trying to flex the knee more. 7, lots of hamstring work on the lifted leg, glute work on the standing leg. 3, 2, 1, good. Take that out, put it into the other side, and you know it's coming. So here's my little flamingo stance, hinging forward slightly, leg comes up, bend on that standing leg, same thing, lift, lower. 8, nothing moving through my midsection. If I put a hand on my belly and my back and can keep my balance, nothing's moving here. 5, 4, 3, 2, lift it up, hold, and then squeeze just at the knee. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we've kept things pretty light on the upper body. We're going to toss in a little bit of stability work through the shoulders. So I'm like really just an orb of light. Sorry guys. Amateur hour here. I feel like it's okay though. So let's go into a wide squat here. So feet are turned out about 30 degrees. You're going to sit back. So again, my motion is more of sitting back than bending up the knees. I'm going to sit back and make sure my knees push outwards. Feel your hips like they're at the back of the sockets, working. And then arms come out in front. So again, I'm going to go sideways. Arms are out in front, just lower than shoulder height. And we're going to do here with the hands like we did with the knees. So squeeze, slow little release. Slow squeeze. Sit down lower as you squeeze with the arms. A little release, come up slightly. Down and up. We're never fully letting tension out of the ball, nor are we fully sitting up in our squat. 8, 7, 6. Keep those knees pushed back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it down to the mat. And we're going to finish off here with a little bit of core. So let's put it down at the feet. Let's do it this way. So what we're going to do is bring it down right where the feet are. Put your feet so your toes are tucked underneath you. Essentially what we're going to do here is come up into a long arm plank. But with the squeeze at our ankles, it's going to get your Inner thighs working, which again is this direct turn on switch to the core. So this is often a progression that I use for people who have a bit of issue with the plank to get their core working a bit better. So slight bend in the elbows, fingers are splayed wide, rib cage is lifted up into the shoulders, then kick those legs back and squeeze that ball tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then bring it down to the ground. And this time we're going to put it underneath our knees. So knees are going to be on the ball like this. So you got to get your knees together. Okay? And then in this position here, you're going to bring knees in and then knees out. Knees in and then slide knees out. In and out. In and out. Good. Now find your neutral knee position here. Good. And then see if you can lift an arm up. This one reminds me of like, I don't know, is it still like some sort of SeaWorld activist seal balancing on a ball? Hard work. Even if you can just float that arm up. Keep finding your balance. The trick to this is you'll never be fully still. But the ability to keep control and find your equilibrium is the real gritty work here. And we often don't like these ones because they don't feel like we're overly successful. But they're the ones that give us a lot of good functional work in finding our balance. 3, 2, 1, bring it up. And then come on up into standing. And let's do a quick little stretch out here. Good. So stand with the legs wide. Use the ball, bring it up and over your head like someone is pulling that arm with the ball. Now, is the ball needed for this? No. But is it a ball prop class? Sure is. So you can drop it here, but I feel like this kind of just finishes things off nicely. Over and around. Over. Oh, so nice. And around. So as I said earlier, please stop the video as needed or go back and go through that whole little circuit again. A lot of them you'll get value out of doing 2 or 3 times because your body just needs time to get used to it. But that's a quick and dirty little full body workout with the ball, and there's plenty more where that came from. So if you liked it, I will do another. Bye guys.